Hi everyone, this is going to be a review and a comparison of e.l.f. Studio Face brushes, and in particular three brushes: e.l.f. powder brush, the flat top brush, the complexion brush, and the blush brush, which I think is quite new on e.l.f.'s site. I'm not sure. These three brushes belong to the Studio line, and they have synthetic bristles. I got the idea of making this video because recently I introduced some e.l.f. products to some friend of mine who have never really been into makeup. They usually bought makeup at the drugstore and just the basic makeup, for example lipsticks and eyeshadows or eye pencils. And they really liked the e.l.f. products because they are great quality and also very cheap. But they had quite a hard time figuring out why the brushes have different shapes and why there are so many brushes in the site, and also what the different brushes are made for. So I decided to make a video showing you the different brushes and explaining also which e.l.f. products I like to use them with, which I think is very useful if you have, for example, these products but you're not sure of which brush to buy. So I hope you enjoy this video. The first brush is the powder brush, and I already made a review on this brush on my channel. And I think most of you know how much I love this brush because it's very versatile and you can use it with almost any product really. And the flat top shape and the fact that it's really dense makes it ideal, for example, for using it with mineral foundation. I will take e.l.f. foundation. For example, I have the shade in Fair. Basically, you just tap a little bit of foundation in the cap, like so. Swirl the brush inside. And just tap the excess and just buff it in the skin with circular motion, like this. And this is the way I use it with mineral foundation. But this brush is also great to apply blush. But the fact that it's really dense makes it ideal, especially for blush that are not very pigmented. Because if you use it with blush that are too big, if you use it with blushes that are too dark, it will give a blotchy effect, and the product would settle in only one place, and it will be very difficult to spread the product evenly on the face. So what I suggest you to do is to use a blush that is not too pigmented, for example Tickled Pink from the Studio line. Basically I just dip the brush in the blush like this, I smile and I apply the blush on the cheekbones. It gives a nice effect. You can use this brush even to apply bronzer, for example, and I take just one side of the brush. The fact that this has this very flat shape makes it ideal to take it only in one place, like this. You see, the brush is dipped only on one angle. Then I make the fishy face. I apply the bronzer like this. This is very dark for my skin. And then spread it out, buff it out, like this. The next brush I would like to talk about is the complexion brush. At first I was not sure about this brush because I thought it was useless because it's so big. It cannot be used to apply blush because it covers too much, a very large area of the face, and it was too I thought it was too fluffy to apply foundation. After trying it, I had a second thought, and actually this brush is quite unique. And obviously I found a way to use it. For example, I like to use it with highlighters, like Healthy Glow Bronzing Powder in Luminance from the regular line. I just apply a little bit of product on the brush, like this, dip the brush inside. And for example, I highlight my neck or my décolleté or my arms. If I'm going out for a night for a disco, it's quite nice, especially in summer, to have shiny arms. And I also use it when I want just a light touch of makeup, because it's so fluffy. For example, if I want to apply a very pigmented blush, like e.l.f. Studio Fuchsia Fusion, I dip the brush inside the blush I smile, and just with very light hand, I apply it on the cheekbones, like this. This is the blush I have on right now. Like this brush is also perfect if you want to apply powders. So for example, e.l.f. Mineral Glow Shimmer Powder, or any powder from e.l.f. Mineral or non-mineral powder, that's not important. So you just apply the powder using the brush all over the face. It gives a very light coverage, but it's a very even coverage. Just like this. The last brush I would like to talk about is the blush brush. The blush brush, it's quite new on the website, and it's a little bit smaller than the complexion brush, as you can see from the comparison. The fact that it's smaller makes it ideal, for example, if you need to apply a blush very precisely, because it fits just perfectly the cheekbone, as you can see. Or you can use it to highlight, because it's not too big to use it as a highlighter brush to highlight the nose, or the top of your cheekbone, or the brow bone. It's perfect for this. And it's also perfect to use it with the quads, such as, for example, the bronzers, golden bronzers, warm bronzers. This is the warm bronzer, because the brush fits each quad perfectly. So you can just choose one color you like. For example, you can choose the pink color to use it as a blush, and apply it on the cheekbones. Or you can use the cream color to highlight. You just take a little bit of product and you highlight your face. So this is how I like to use the blush brush. I own lots of blush brushes because the blush is my favorite product, and I think this brush is perfect because it's small, but it has also the point tip, so it's very useful for this usage, as I just talked about. So these three brushes might look the same, but they actually have different uses. The powder brush is great if you need very intense coverage, so for example with foundations, and every time you need to cover spots of your face, or to cover imperfections, discolorations, it gives a very heavy coverage. The complexion brush is fluffy and very big, so it's great if you need just a light touch of makeup, or if you need to apply evenly powder, or any type of product that doesn't need a very heavy coverage. And it's also quite big, so you can cover larger areas. For example, you can use it also on your body. And last but not least, the blush brush is great if you have to apply makeup in very specific spots. So for example, if you need to highlight some features of your face, or if you need to apply blush very precisely. So I hope you liked this review, and this review was helpful for you. So see you next time.